Welcome to the Diversity Volunteer Recognition Breakfast. This year's theme is United We Serve, United We Honor. Serving our nation and community is a way of life for many Hoosiers, and honoring the volunteers is a tradition at United Way. The celebration started 28 years back as we started honoring our unsung heroes who have identified and tackled some of the most invisible challenges to recognizing and resolving some of the toughest and the obvious issues of our community. Over the years, we have honored hundreds of them, but let us not forget, there are tens of thousands of volunteers out there serving our community every single day and making a difference. Let us meet our honorees today and learn from them what motivates them to volunteer, what are the initiatives they care for the most, and how you can help them. What is the true definition of diversity? You will also meet the individuals who believed in them, and they have seen our heroes in action.
Diversity means to me, it's the first thing that comes to mind is differences, and I think I know it's a good thing.
What does diversity mean to me? It means being open and welcoming and open to people from a lot of different backgrounds.
And when you talk about diversity, you really have to include an appreciation for diversity and just understanding the assets that we all bring to the table.
It's just a very large perspective on bringing those with different perspectives together. And
diversity is what America is all about. America is made up of diverse ethnic groups, and by living together in this great country, that's what makes America great.
Diversity in any community is so important because you really want to have a variety of perspectives and really include everybody into the problem solving that faces a community.
When I look at diversity, I think diversity means to me the inclusion of people of different races and culture, but also more than that, it's the inclusion of people of different ages, different genders, different sexual orientation. It's like that whole fabric of what is diversity and inclusiveness. And I think when we look at diversity, too many times we just see it as black and white, but diversity really is much more than that.
If I had to describe Ralph Taylor in 3 words, I think those words would be humble, unassuming, and passionate about justice. I wish we had 10 Ralph Taylors on our board of directors. He's got the best Rolodex in town. Many times when I am asked who serves on the Immigrant Welcome Center's board of directors and I mention Ralph Taylor's name, people will say, I know Ralph Taylor. So he has just been a wonderful advocate, not only for our organization, but for those that we serve.
Crystal Livers Powers is the Director of Corporate Communications for Indianapolis Power and Light. And she's also the board chair for Girl Scouts here in Central Indiana. She's made a huge impact on that organization. Crystal's impact on Girl Scouts here in Central Indiana has been immense. She's made it a family affair. Obviously, we all know about the cookie drive, and her husband has been the chair of the cookie drive, and both of her girls have traveled with her around to be able to make that a huge, huge event for Central Indiana.
If I had more than one James Tannehill, we could serve schools all across the city. We could be reaching a lot more youth and making a lot bigger impact. James Tannehill is an electric person. He draws to him people. To be at any event with him, you will see that people are just come around. And when he works with the kids, it's the same thing.
Merv really assisted through the Committee on Diversity, assisted United Way of Central Indiana in so many ways. He took that committee, this long-time committee that really had a lot of history, and he said, you know, we need to bring this committee into today. We need to expand our definition of diversity. We need to expand who's on the committee to really reflect the changing nature of diversity in Central Indiana. He also challenged us to look internally at our hiring practices, our work with vendors, and in so many different areas, to look at it a different way, to say it's not just racial and ethnic, it's also gender, it's sexual orientation, it is national origin. And he kept reminding us when we would get too focused on one area.
Whenever I meet somebody in the community, the first person they ask me about is, oh, do you know Merv Enders? Everybody knows Merv Enders, and without him, if we had 2 Merv Enders in this organization or on this committee, there's no telling what we couldn't do as an organization.
Dr. Pat Treadwell, I'm not sure where I would even start. When I came on board to the agency, really as a consultant, I met Dr. Treadwell, and her passion and resilience were very clear. She's no nonsense. She's like, what's the problem? Let's fix it, find what it is, and get it done. She is passionate about changing lives and those impacted by sickle cell disease. She is committed beyond all things possible. And she is resilient. She comes back no matter what's going on. She just comes back like the Energizer Bunny. And we're proud of her for it.
I think it's just a passion of mine. I've been volunteering in different ways since I was younger.
And if you volunteer to help other people to get things, I would say, get things accomplished and helping other people, it's a good thing. I feel good inside. That's what it's all about.
What motivates me to volunteer is to really do something, do whatever that I can do to help make this a better community for everyone to live in.
I became involved with sickle cell at the Martin Center more than 25 years ago. I was motivated because sickle cell is a disease that affects a number of individuals.
The reason why I volunteer is that I love children. I love to serve. I love to give back. I feel like that's my mission in life. I feel like God gave me talents, He gave me skills, and my obligation as another human being is to give those skills back to the community.
I came from a family that believed in volunteering and giving back to the community. And so that's kind of all I've known as I've grown up and become an adult.
I find that volunteering is really an exciting way to help others and also to develop yourself and your own set of skills. It's been a really wonderful experience being with the Girl Scouts of Central Indiana. I've learned so much, and I feel that any contribution I've made is certainly second to how much I've learned.
What makes me want to volunteer, I think, is the opportunity to make a difference in the lives of people, both young and old. And I think that's something that's always driven me from the very first time I had the opportunity to volunteer, which was at IPS number 5, Oscar C. McCullough School, in which I had the opportunity to be a volunteer on the school safety patrol.
I just think, for the most part, there's not one place I want to make a difference in my community, but just to see my community thrive as a whole, to see everybody that's living in a certain area or a particular area that shares space, to have an equal voice and an equal opportunity to serve and to grow and to have the lives that they kind of dream of.
Serving a community, everybody wants to go into the places where their kids are less fortunate or families are less fortunate. But with today's society, wow. I mean, I've seen people who have lived in very affluent society, communities, and their kids are having just as much problems and troubles.
I don't have a specific part of the community that I would want to make a difference in, because the community is a whole. I guess the most specific thing that I can find is helping people become or to better themselves.
We have a mission to serve those communities that need us the most, those that have the greatest need. And so again, with my values and with what I believe the talents and the skills that God has given me, my obligation and my commitment is to serve the urban community.
I think the Indianapolis community has a really wonderful opportunity to help the young people in our community. That's why I volunteer my time at Girl Scouts of Central Indiana. It's a unique, hands-on way to make a difference for thousands of girls and their families.
If I had a magic wand.
If I had a magic wand, I could do anything.
Children, if I had a magic wand.
Okay, if you gave me a magic wand.
If I had 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 a magic wand that I could use to help the community,
it would be to have each parent love their kids. Just say to your kid, I love you, at least once, and really mean it. If I had a magic word.
I think I would allow people to see the gifts and the talents they have in themselves and to use them for the betterment of everybody else.
I would swing it so that every child would have an opportunity to fully realize their potential, and that they're well cared for, and that they're surrounded by people who can guide them and be good role models to them.
Probably one of the first things I would do is wave that wand to provide opportunity and success for everybody in the world.
use it to inspire other adults to reach out and to help the children in our community. I think we have a wonderful opportunity to do that. There are so many kids in need, and so many of us have skills both that we recognize right away and those that we don't know we have that someone could really benefit from.
Is to provide voice to the invisible people of this community, and also I would really strive to lead the road for successful integration for immigrants and refugees coming to our great state.